Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. Thanks so much for joining me today. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos. If this is your second or third or fourth time being here, thanks so much for coming back and getting creative, and thanks so much for your support. In this video, this is going to be perfect for my beginner painters. We're going to get comfortable with mixing the paint and working with the traceable on some of them and getting comfortable with applying a few layers on the canvas. So what you're going to see in the description box below is a link to a supply kit, and in that supply kit is everything that you need for this particular painting. So grab the supplies that you need and then move on to the painting portion. Another thing that you're going to see in the description box below is a link to what I call a traceable. A traceable is a way to get your initial image or composition on your canvas before you even start painting. And it's a nice tool for my first time and beginner painters to utilize. So feel free to check that out. So once you've kind of gotten comfortable with the painting process and you want to take your skills to the next level, check out my online school, paintwithlovejoy.com, and check out my Paint Your Pet class as well as my intermediate and a little more involved classes. Painting's not about being perfect, but it's about kind of building on your skills and getting better with each painting. So keep pushing yourself, keep kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and growing your skills. You're also more than welcome to change out any colors in any of the videos or the paintings that you do. Feel free to make any of these unique to you and make them your own. So trust your instincts. If you're inclined to change out a color, go right ahead and do that. So I think this is probably enough talking. Let's go ahead and jump into the process of painting. Alright guys, it's going to be another fun gift painting for my first time and beginner painters. So grab your supplies, transfer your traceable to your surface, and as always, make sure you take your progress photos. Now on mine, I went over my traceable lines with a black Sharpie marker for my students at home that are going to pause the video and draw what you see. If you utilize the traceable, you do not have to go over it with black lines. So we're going to start with the background. We're going to start with light blue, and that is white with a little bit of blue, and demonstrating a few different brush strokes here. Try all of them, and whichever one you feel a little more comfortable with, go with that. Now you have full permission to switch out any of the colors here. If you want to make this more of a Christmas gift, stick with red, green, and white for your colors, and that will give it a nice Christmassy feel. Or switch out colors to the favorite colors of yours or maybe the person you might be giving this to. But full permission to just use this as a base and change it up to what you need. Now I am using that that large flat brush. If you need to switch brushes to get into little areas, feel free to do that as well. And if you are on a stretched canvas, I do recommend carrying the color around the sides of the canvas as the background meets the edges. It just looks nice when you hang it on the wall, having that color wrap around the edge. So remember to breathe as you're doing this. You're doing a great job, but we do tend to hold our breath sometimes. So laugh at yourself for a minute, breathe, and then keep on painting. So once you've got kind of the background filled in, you can grab white, and like I'm doing here, you slap that color on there, and then with light pressure, move your brush on top of it. You can do the same thing with the darker blue or introduce a new color. This is kind of one of the fun aspects of blending paint. And this is called wet on wet blending. So do everything that you want to your background, take your progress picture, you can let it dry, and then we're going to move into painting the package. And I'm going to stick with yellow here. I kept with primary colors for this video, red, yellow, and blue. But like I said, you can switch it out to whatever you want. And we're going to fill in the package with yellow, and then we're going to use a tiny amount of black to do a little bit of shading. So just like in the background with that wet on wet blending, we're going to implement that process, that concept for each element in today's painting. So I am using student grade paint, so I recommend that you apply your paint a little bit thicker, and that helps with some of the blending. And again, carry that color around the edges of the canvas while you have it. So we've got our nice base of yellow. I am going to move down to the small pointy brush um, in a minute, but grabbing just a tiny amount of black, and I want you to observe where I'm placing it and mimic that to the best of your ability on your canvas. And then I did wipe off the brush and then going back with light pressure, kind of smushing and blending that black into that base yellow. Now, like I said earlier, a little bit goes a long way. So if you ended up putting too much black in an area, you can wipe off your brush. You can apply a little bit more yellow back to it, but it's easier just to kind of wipe it off because a little bit goes a long way. And same thing, we're going to move on to the tag. And if you want to switch colors, go right ahead. But we're going to put that base of white on the whole thing. I am going over those traceable lines. And then we'll use a little bit of light gray to do a little bit of shading. But again, building on that same concept of putting your base color on and then introducing some new colors on top of it. And for my beginner painters, this is something that gets more comfortable with more practice. So here you can see I'm making kind of a light medium gray and putting it kind of on the bottom of the tag, and then wipe that brush off and then again go back in and blend it into that base um, layer of paint. And again, we're just giving a slight hint of an illusion of depth here on a flat surface. So moving into the bow, just again throwing that base red on there. Then we're going to do the exact same thing that we've done in the other elements. We'll introduce a little bit of black for some shading and blend it into the base paint. So you're getting a lot of good practice with brush control and wet on wet blending. And like I said earlier, this is something that gets more comfortable with more painting practice. And for my beginners, your brain's taking in a lot of information right now, so be kind to yourself. You're learning how to hold the brush, you're learning how to mix your colors, you're learning how to blend to paint. Your muscles are taking in a lot of information, and your brain is taking in a lot of information. So painting is not about being perfect, but it's about improving your skills with each painting. So again, don't compare yourself to others, but just do a little bit better or learn something a little bit more than the last time that you painted. And all right, so we've got that space filled in. We're going to do the exact same thing. Grab a little bit of black, and again, a little bit goes a long way. Observe where you see me place it, and then mimic that to the best of your ability on your canvas. And you can see here that I got quite a bit on this bottom section. So wipe that brush off, and then you can even pull some of it into another area. But again, trust your instincts. A little bit goes a long way. I actually got a little excessive on this one. Um, but wherever you're at for painting today, just embrace it. That's part of your creative expression for this moment. Again, remember to breathe, exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas, and that will help with your process. All right, don't forget to take your progress photos. I did fully let this dry before I moved on to this next step, and still using the black, and you can use your middle brush or the small pointy brush, and we're going to outline everything. Um, and again, play with the pressure. Light pressure, treating your brush kind of like a pencil and just using the last 2 millimeters of the brush will create a little bit of a skinnier line. More pressure will create a bit of a wider line. If you have varying widths of line on here today, that's okay. That's where you're at for today. Your muscles will get more comfortable with the process and the pressure of the brush with more practice. Now, if you need to, I am resting my forearm against the edge of the table, which is hard to see in the video. So find something that you can rest your forearm on to help steady your hand. Remember to exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas. And for steadying, if you need to, you can even put your pinky out, put that on a dry spot on your canvas, and use that as your pivot point. If you need to turn the canvas upside down or sideways or put it on your lap because it's easier to make a line in a certain direction, trust that and go ahead and adjust for what you need while you are doing this. I have had a few students that actually outlined in teal or white, so feel free, you can switch the color on your outline as well. Make it unique to whoever you're giving this to. And for that tag, I would recommend using a Sharpie marker if you want to write somebody's name, or use the brush if you want more practice. But you can address the tag for the painting to be whatever you need it for. And same with the outlines. If you are finding a lot of frustration with the outlines, you can fully let it dry, and you can do this with a Sharpie marker. The marker will only stay on the dry paint. It will not stay on the wet paint. They have paint markers for that, and those are actually a lot of fun too. All right, and something I tell all my students and that I've mentioned a few times in this video, please try to find a creative outlet on a regular basis for yourself. It is only to your benefit. It's a nice escape from reality, and it's nice to see yourself transform a white surface into, or a blank surface into, a final image. All right, so we are going to move into white paint, put some highlights on there. These are not exact highlights, they're just going in the general area. So again, just observe where you see them placed and mimic that to the best of your ability on your canvas. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out and painting with me today. Don't wait too long to do your next painting. I'm really proud of you. Keep up the good work. Until next time, cheers. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the process of painting, and I hope you are happy with how your paintings turned out. I'm really proud of you for getting creative. As you're uploading these to social media, please tag me at or hashtag paintwithlovejoy, or email me your pictures, paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. I really enjoy seeing them. I try to post them on social media to encourage other beginner painters to try the process of painting. But please share this with your community as well. Anybody who is kind of scared to paint, share your experience with them and let them know kind of how much you benefited from it and how much you enjoyed the process. So kind of share the fun. With that being said, if you have any comments, questions, feedback, things that you want me to paint in the future, please leave a comment. I try to respond to everybody as quickly as I can. And any of the future suggestions for paintings, I add that to my production list and get to them as quickly as I can. So in the meantime, please keep getting creative. Let me know how you're doing. And until next time, cheers.